What up? It's the PAC, man. All things physician associate. And in this video is part 2, man, of how to open your own practice the better way. Or in my personal opinion, of course. So I'll jump right into it, man. So in the last video, we left off with various, ideas on how to open your own practice. But I think the better approach to opening your own practice is to form or join a group, and you can do this independently or interdependently. Let me explain myself. So let me give you an example. So I used to work for an ENT group, and this ENT group, I worked specifically for a doctor, but this doctor was part of a group. And he told me pretty much the history behind this group. He's like, look, man, I used to be an independent ENT doctor in South Florida seeing patients. And the problem is, in the previous video, you may have noticed whenever I talk about reimbursement, I say it in a way like, try to get reimbursement. I always say the word try next to reimbursement because insurance companies, man, they do not like to pay. So you may do like a whole service. Patient comes in with knee pain, you do an ultrasound, you do an ultrasound guided knee injection, and you ask the patient, how's your pain? Oh, wow, that was phenomenal. I feel great. Good. That took about 30 minutes to do the whole thing. You know what? For my time, my fee for service is $190. Insurance sends me back a check for, you know what, here's $63. Take it or leave it. What? For all that? So then next time the patient comes in with knee pain, it makes you not even want to bother doing a ultrasound or an injection. I don't want to use up my medication. I'm not even going to get my money back for it. I'm like, you know what? Here's some pain medication and then get out of here. And that's why that's part of the reason why the medical system is broken, but that's another subject. So another way to combat insurance companies not wanting to reimburse you is to join a group or form a group, and pretty much, I'm sure you've heard this saying, there's strength in numbers. So this, back to the story with this ENT doc. So he's like, look, man, every time I try to reimburse someone for doing something, I couldn't get my money back. And so we decided to formulate a group, and pretty much 55 ENT doctors in South Florida. There's only about 60 of them in Miami-Dade County. 55 of them came together and said, yeah, let's do it. Let's form our own group. And what I mean by strength in numbers is, if me by myself, I say, you know what, I'm tired of your insurance company not wanting to send me back, like not wanting to reimburse me, I'm not accepting your insurance anymore. And you see that all the time. You call a place, say, I'd like to make an appointment. They're like, what's your insurance? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, we don't accept that insurance. And that's partly because, that same example I just gave. But, and the insurance companies don't care, like, oh well. Now, let 55 docs at the same time say, you know what, we're no longer accepting your insurance. That's a hit. That's a hit. The insurance will be calling you back almost immediately, like, what happened? No, you want to try to play us with the reimbursement? We don't accept your kind here anymore. Then, whoa. Well, let me. We can fix that. We can fix it. It's a conversation, as opposed to take it or leave it. So the power of a group is important, man. And so this ENT doc, he joined this group, and then I joined his practice, became part of that group, and I got to see it firsthand, the strength in numbers. And I thought that, you know what, if I ever open my own practice, let's say I wanted to go and just open my own ENT practice. Okay, perfect. Open an ENT practice and join that ENT group. You want to open your own, almost like a franchise, but without paying the franchise fees. It's and basically the way opening a practice works as far as money goes is they have a whole corporate structure, a whole human resource structure. So there's a lot of things that you no longer have to deal with, like payroll. Like, you know what? They take care of all the reimbursement. They take care of paying everybody in the office, paying all the bills. and they even refer patients to you, because when clinics, anyone who opens their own practice will tell you the hardest part of it all is finding patients, right? Your clients is the toughest part. And I remember I used to go to offices to like to get more patients. I used to say I like to speak to the doctor, thinking I could just have a one-on-one conversation with the doctor. And then I started talking to some of the doctors, and they're like, I don't know where they get sent. Speak to my coordinator. And that's when I learned, oh, referral coordinators is where it's at. Like, if a patient comes into the office with a hole in their eardrum, they're like, look, you have a hole in your eardrum, you need to see a ENT. That's it. They just write on the chart, refer to ENT. It's the front desk and the referral coordinator that says, okay, it looks like the doc wants you to see an ENT. Do you live north or south of here? North? Okay, here are the doctors that we use, that we refer to north, close to the home. Let me give you the number to call them to make an appointment. So the referral coordinator is really the one that coordinates the referral. So I started speaking to referral coordinators, and then I was like, this works much, much better. Now, if I'm part of a group, I don't have to go knocking on doors and asking to speak to referral coordinators. If I'm part of, let's say, that ENT group, now I'm in that list. So now it's a matter of, do you live north or south? Okay, south. Okay, here's a list of docs. I'm in that list if I'm south of that patient and they need to see my specialty. So it's like I'm automatically included in that franchise type list, right? And then moreover, the money that gets reimbursed, it goes into just a potluck. Like, you know what, 55 of us, all the money goes into one business account, and then we're pretty much just gonna pay everyone's salary, including the doctors. The doctor was like, look, man, he was making roughly about $10,000 bi-weekly. And that was his cut. All he has to do is just show up to work, see his patients. He has his own practice. In fact, he has 3 locations. And he shows up to one day. I'm like, how do you just afford to pay for 3 locations? I feel like I wouldn't even want one location. Sounds like too much. He's like, yeah, it's so many of us. I only use that one location on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so the other ENT docs share the office, and it doesn't matter. All the money goes into one potluck, and they still pay me about $20,000 a month, and I don't have to worry about anything. I was like, man, that if I was ever to open a practice, I would love to figure out their infrastructure and set up something similar. So I thought I'd share that, man, because I think that's the best way to open your own practice. That's a location, like an actual office space, because an alternative option to that would be to do, I think more and more the community is requesting concierge medicine, which is to go to your house. So a lot of home care. They say history repeats itself, and back in the days, the doctors made house calls to go to your house, and little Timmy was sick, and the doc goes in the room, does the physical exam and stuff. Like, that's coming back around, and insurances are starting to recognize that, and they'll reimburse you for that as well if you're willing to go to their house. And the beauty of it is, you as a PA, you personally don't have to go every time. You can have it set up to where you send a patient care technician to go and check out the patient, and they could show up with a tablet, and you could FaceTime the call, or you can go and do the initial, see the patient, start them on the medication, and then the follow-up visits is you sending a nurse or a tech to go and let's say someone, little Timmy cut himself, he needs stitches. Okay, you go to the house with a tech, you stitch it up, or the technician cleans the wound, you stitch it up, the technician gives a shot of tetanus, and then they go every day and treat the wound, like wound care management for 1 week. And you were just there for that initial part that you had to do, right? Let's say you stitched up. So a lot of people are wanting that a lot more, especially post-COVID world. So that's something else to consider as well, man. So I think I'm gonna stop the video here. I wanted to keep it under 10 minutes. So if anybody has any questions, you know where to leave it, man. Much love. Bless.